Welcome everybody to the Main Dish with MD. I'm your host, Marlon Davis. Man, I'm trying to tell you about this episode today. It's going to be full of energy. As you can see already on your screen, we got a little bit of burnt orange. We got GirlDads. We got a boomer sooner in the house. We are hitting everybody today. So I know the energy is going to be there. And ultimately, we look to inspire, connect, and entertain. So again, welcome to the show. I want to take you guys back to, with all these different colors on, to the second weekend in October. The smell of Fletcher's corny dogs, French fries, fried food, lots of burnt orange, a sea of maroon.
Crimson.
That's prior to the, a sea of red. Some
Crimson.
call it crimson. That's prior to the game. We got smiles after the game. We have tears after the game. It's one of the greatest days in the fall. I'm talking about Texas OU weekend.
OU Texas.
And the reason I'm here to talk about that weekend a little bit is we have three of my favorite people in here. First of all, we have Rodney Waites, the founder of worththewaites. We have Tre Thomas, who's a former legendary defensive back for the Texas Longhorns and owner of Seafood Station. We have Jay Wiggins representing the Sooners. Jay Wiggins has his hand in a lot of things. He's host a dope poetry night on Wednesday nights. He also has a photography company, and he's the producer of GirlDads. Great film that's out. We'll talk about a little bit more about that coming up. But again, welcome. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Man, beautiful.
Man. Feels good.
I am phenomenal.
Now, I brought up Texas OU weekend, OU Texas. Nobody calls it that, south of Norman. Nobody calls it that. Rodney, tell me your most favorite Texas OU memory.
Absolutely. I have 15, 18 years of not just the game memories, but the entire weekend. I can say easily Tre has brought me years of joy with victories and what he did on the field. Wig and I have had great photo shoots and battles in and around the game at watch parties. Marlon, it was the Davis OU Classic to me before it was even for your folks' birthday and stuff. So it is literally my favorite weekend in my entire year. But if we talk about the game, the one that jumps out to me, Texas was on the way in 2005 to what we like to refer to as the Natty. And Roderick, Brian Robinson cracks Rhett Beaumont. Boom! 300+ pound Rod Wright picks up the ball at like the 30. And it took everything he had to score. Matter of fact, I want to say when he got to the 30 of the opposite side, I might have jumped on Jay Wiggs' back and rode him to the touchdown. So I remember that day. Obviously, that was an easy win, but that led to us going undefeated, Big 12 championship, winning the Natty, last one in the Big 12, whatever. But that was my memory as on the football field. But again, it is like nothing else around as far as rivalries, games, and weekends go.
It is.
And that's it's funny because actually because of Texas OU, we met Jay Wiggins.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for that weekend, talking about bringing people together, we're gonna joke about it today and have our cracks at each other. But you meet good people from that weekend, and that's phenomenal. So we're excited about that. Jay, tell us what, I know you're eager over here.
I think that's what I remember most about OU Texas weekend. Ironically, I've never been to the game. I've never been to the Cotton Bowl for the game. I've always done the watch party. And so you guys know how the watch party works. At the most, it's 60-40. It's more OU than Texas.
Absolutely.
But when I first started going, there was always this dude that talked the most smack. I was like, who is this dude? I'm gonna put my hands on this guy. Who is he? Found out he was frat, ran up on him like, what? And he was literally tap dancing on me. It was like, I think Texas was tap dancing on OU at the time, and I was getting tap danced on in the middle of the watch party. Ever since then, a friendship and a bond formed, you know, with me and everybody from Texas, well, all the bros at least. And like Wade said, it's hands down the best weekend out of the whole year. You know, we call it the best watch party on earth. Shouts out to Dayland Golf, you know what I'm saying, who puts together the watch party every year, another Sooner. But it's all the black students from OU, alumni and current, and then, you know, the black Texas exes. We all get together and we talk smack during the game, but at the end of the day, man, we got each other's back. and that's the realness right there.
Absolutely.
I've shared time at the watch party and at the game. I try to split it up. And you know, we got somebody that didn't get a chance to split it up because he was on the field busting them up. Tre, now you told me about your most memorable has something to do with not the godfather of soul, but the godfather of football at Texas, James Brown.
Say, man, look, I just want to piggyback on what Jay Wiggs said. It's a whole different experience coming from a player and then being a part of the festivities around the whole weekend. Like I think if I had experienced that first before being a player, I might have played a little harder. Nah, but man, like in my older years, I'm enjoying the rivalry outside of the game much more than I did in the game. It's intense in there, but yeah, when you talk about my memories, man, we came in with a Texas wasn't good when we got there. Like they were on the rebound for a number of years in '93. And we were able to bring in a class that had some very highly ranked recruits. But man, one of my biggest fans in life, one of my best friends, man, I'm just gonna give him his roses while he's alive. James Brown. Man, he's the most cocky, arrogant guy I know. But let me tell you something, he backed it up. And so Shea Marins went down the game before. I can't remember who we played before, but I knew who OU was next. So he comes in and he's starting this game. And I was a sophomore. I think it's the same game that Stoney Clark made the stop to win the game or whatever. But the main thing, I called James. I said, hey, man, you remember when you first got your chance to get on national TV and the biggest stage you could really play on? First drive, he throws a pick when we out of there. And he came back and just balled the rest of the game. And he told me, he said, man, I ain't throw a pick for the next 36 games. Yeah. But for him to start off like that, man, because we all started as true freshmen. James was a redshirt freshman. But, man, I've always admired his just ability to come in and step in big situations. We can talk about what he did in St. Louis against Nebraska and all that stuff. But, man, that dude has a DNA of a gangster. I mean, that's all I can tell you. Like, he's just an OG. And that's my favorite memory, just because I watched him go in there behind us. We came in together, but he was a late bloomer. And he came in there on the biggest stage, made that big mistake, and then came back and finished that game, and we won. And from then on, JB was my quarterback. I don't care what. He's still my quarterback. He's my president.
I didn't say a favorite game moment. I'm just going to leave it at this. 2001, Roy Williams, Superman. There we go.
Yeah.
Greatest.
Yeah.
That's top 5 in college football history. We'll just put that out there.
I ain't even see it.
I think I sneezed or something. I was like, got you.
I saw it when he bent his knees to jump. I knew it was gonna happen. Well, you gotta do that. Nah, it's all good, man. Yeah, that's my favorite memory for Texas OU. But I just love the rivalry. The rivalry was great. Like I loved it. And I got homies that I still, Anthony Fogle, Gerald Moore, all those guys. Those are Houston guys. And like we all came through high school together, all the all-star McDonald's games and all that stuff, man, just to, like he said, man, this at the end of the day, we here now, we grown men and we trying to better ourselves as a as a people.
Yeah.
And with that,
And Tre, you guys had a amazing secondary too. You had playing alongside three other guys out there that were tough, all-stars as well. Chris Carter, Bryant Westbrook, Taji Allen. Those guys had some great careers while they were at Texas as well, man. I love watching you guys. And I'm sure Jay Wig didn't care for watching you, but it's all good.
no, he signed with the wrong squad. That's it.
I think his team lost to OU every year that he was in school, if I remember correctly.
Did you take a visit to Texas, Jay Wig? At least did you visit?
I tried to enroll at Texas after high school. They told me my GPA was too high, so they sent me back more.
They sent you back to Oklahoma. Okay.
Sent me back
Wait,
to
are
Oklahoma.
you talking about from summer track?
Like, you're way too smart to be here. This is a football
Man,
school.
y'all stop, man.
No, it's all good. Fellas, let's get down to a little bit of business and the main reason we are here to talk about you, amazing entrepreneurs. As I mentioned earlier in the episode, talked about what you guys are starting to do. Jay Wig, let's start out with you, man. Last night you had an episode of Dope Poetry Night, which you've been hosting Wednesdays for quite some time now. How'd you get started with that? And talk, take us through Concept Productions and the rest of the stuff you're involved with.
Word. So Dope Poetry started about 3.5 years ago. There was a void in the Oklahoma City poetry movement. Poetry's always been strong in OKC, but it kind of died off around, I'd say, 2013, 2014. And then when 2016 or the end of 2015 rolled around, we decided to create a show called Dope Poetry. And we welcome every experience level of poets. And we affectionately call the show Dope Therapy, because that's the opportunity for people to really get up on the mic, pour their heart out, and really just, release the steam, especially during today's social climate. You know what I'm saying? I always thought that poets were always the voice and the loudest voice of, the Black people and the activists. A lot of people have feelings, but they don't know how to articulate those feelings. And that's where the poets come in, and they're able to explain exactly what it is that you're feeling. So that show is magic, it's beautiful, and it's necessary. We went virtual when COVID hit, but we came back about 6 weeks ago. So now we're back in the building with Lysol and mask, and we make it happen. We do the best that we can.
And from that, you have Concept Productions. You're doing photography, and I know on Father's Day you were taking out some free pictures, and tell us about that.
So Concept Productions started in 2004. I was doing digital video. I was doing graphics. So pretty much all the Black and Gold pageants, all the Miss Black, fill in the blank campus, I was video all those joints. And then I was making party flyers. Photography came about a year later, November of 2005, started doing photography. It was cool. I was taking some trash pictures though, but everybody liked it. It was cool. 2 months rolled around. I went to an event, my roommate and some other people at the time took some pictures. At the very end of the night, my roommate and some of the bros, they decided to go to a party at OSU. I decided to go back home to Norman. About 4 or 5 hours later, I get a phone call that one of my good friends who went to the party went to the after set and was fatally shot. I took the last picture of his life. This is back when Facebook really started getting cracking. I noticed that everybody started using the picture that I took of him from that night. So that was the time where I decided to take photography extremely serious. And my mentality then, and still is now, what would a picture look like if I took my time to really just make it happen and do the best picture that I could possibly take for that moment? And so my passion behind photography is behind my deceased fraternity brother, Paul Shaner, who ironically, his Yahoo chat name was Passion06. And he spelled it P-A-S-H-O-N. And so anytime I say passion, I always spell it like that, just in honor of him. And so from there, the very next month, when I started doing like really a lot of events, it came from Houston. I reached out to my boy Ike Kim from In the Mix, And I literally asked him, could I do in Oklahoma what he was doing in Houston? And he said yes, and even allowed me to come down and work with him to see exactly how it worked. So the first time I was doing photography in Houston was NBA All-Star Weekend, which was 2006 in Houston. I walk in the door, first person I see is Jadakiss. And I'm like, wow, I was just bumping your album on the way here and I'm in front of you. So he gave me that blessing. So if it wasn't for ICAM and me meeting him in college and us banging, against each other in step shows, because, they were really heavy on the step show circuit. If it wasn't for him saying yes, I don't even know if there would even be a concept to this day.
That's a great story, man. In the Mix, they've been around for quite some time. Way back when, I think I have some pictures of me with the In the Mix at the bottom of the screen. I think everybody has some of those pictures.
2004.
From the time being in Houston. Let's talk about Seafood Station. The owner, restaurateur. Tell us a little bit how that got started and what you guys are looking to do with the business.
It's been 10 years, man, since I started my business, and I haven't looked back. It's been ups and downs. The original concept I started was Catfish Station, and you know how we used to do it in Austin. I took the name and patented the logo and started a business here in Houston, patterned around the spirit of Catfish Station, because when I was in school, that was where we hung out. That's where you could find us on the weekends. But
so
I made it more.
I'm going to interrupt real quick, and Rodney, you can probably attest to this. So for those who don't know, Catfish Station was a iconic restaurant /bar /club on 6th Street.
/ lounge.
Yeah, / all the slashes.
Everything.
It was everything. And so it was in the heart of 6th Street. So on the weekends, that's where you can find people at Catfish Station. Even much so, I believe Matthew McConaughey started working there as like a waiter or a bartender. So that's how happening the spot was. And so what you did was you revolutionized it.
Yeah.
Taking it to the next level.
It left an impression. It left an impression for sure, man. But here's the big thing, man. Like, I'm gonna go on and say this. Like, shout out to the late great Don Cornelius. If you look at that right there,
Soul Train.
that is the Soul Train. So when I sent this into the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office and put Catfish Station around it, they granted me the intellectual rights to use this logo. I ain't looked back since, because they said it could never be associated with what Don Cornelius was doing. And I was like, oh. So I got that was my first dose of what ownership means, man. To like own your brand. So from there, I just started hustling out here in Houston, man, and had a great product. It took off. I got into franchising, and I'm gonna give you the accelerated version. But just to be candid, I once I was really successful, I had no idea what that meant in terms of, I didn't know what I was doing and how it related to the industry. So for example, when I got approached from the people that want to invest with me, I didn't know that I was doing what KFC does, right? I just didn't know. I was just doing my thing. So had I stopped to realize what I built and to know I'm doing the same numbers as a KFC, right? And I got 2 of them under my belt, my negotiations would have went way different. But anyway, I made a bad deal. I'll say that. And I had people that were outside of our community represent the brand, and it started to go down. So hence, I took that and morphed it into the Station Seafood Company to create separation. And so now, taking those lessons that I've learned, I'm looking to partner with individuals who want to take this concept, and I have a family of brands now. And I just want to empower other people to take this brand and possibly do it in Oklahoma, do it in wherever. I'm not going to feel the shade from the seeds I'm planting. I get that, right? But I just want to build some things and create a foundation to where we can all build off of this, because I learned how to make it scalable. I learned how the industry works. Like, I really feel confident enough to say I have a concept that has been proven and able to be duplicated in multiple markets. And so, not to put it all out there on this platform, but I really am looking forward to sitting down with like-minded people and saying, hey man, this is what I did. Here's where I messed up. Here's where I know we can do better, and look at what we can do. Because I do have a 10-year track record of making it pop off, like really, seriously.
And Tre, you and I, before we even jumped on this call tonight, we had a little conversation. You're like, hey, MD, why are you doing the show? What's your reasoning behind this? And we talked about planting your seed and, really what this show is about. If we get one person to reach out to you that wants to start their own business, their own restaurant business,
yeah,
I've done my job. Like that's what this show is all about. So you don't have to struggle and say, you know what, Tre said, man, I made these mistakes. Here's how you beat those mistakes, or here's what you can do instead of doing that. Here's some reputable people. Reach out to them, connect with them. And so that's what this show is all about, telling your story, promoting you so people can come into the seafood station, get some good food. I saw you guys the other day posted a little marinade, a little homemade mix you guys
homemade
were working
sauce,
with.
man, that's the real deal. That's what we do all day.
Homemade sauce. I know you got some specials on Mondays and Tuesdays in the spots.
Yeah.
That's what we're here talking about.
Absolutely, man. No, I appreciate your platform, and like I said, when you approached me, it just made sense. I'm like, boy, this is a perfect fit for you and your personality, and I couldn't wait to jump on it. Seriously.
What part of town is your business on?
I'm in Houston, man. My main store is in Cypress. At one point, I had 14 locations throughout Houston, man.
Okay, I'm gonna come check you out next time I'm in Houston. That's why I asked.
Yeah, come on. Nah, come on down, man. Really, let's sit up and see how, like, man, we can make a lot of things happen. Like, I became a food manufacturer. I became a licensed retailer in a lot of different areas. Like, this journey has been a lot, and most people, may not feel comfortable talking about the failures, but I feel like I have to, so I can be validated and saying, because I went through that, this is why you should listen to what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I did a lot that was wrong in the beginning, but I see the game and I got it. I feel like I got a good hand on it now.
Word.
And some say that's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Let's listen to what Tre is talking about so we can promote ourselves. And speaking of Mr. If you look at his website, the Chief Executive Aficionado, the Mr. I know everybody, and that's true. I don't care where you go. I don't care what you do. And it's because of things like soccer. He'll be like, oh, you from Tuska Johnson, Wisconsin? Okay, yeah, I played soccer on the field over here when I was 13. Do you know Steve Littlebowski? And they'll be like, oh yeah, I do know Steve Littlebowski. But he's a great guy, has a great business. He's actually helped me out with some of the things on my platform. Rodney Waites, let's talk about Worth the Waites, how you got started with that. Let's hear it.
Yeah, man. So it's so ironic that these two individuals are here because I have years of affiliation with them, and to see them grow in entrepreneurial lanes was actually part of the reason where I had enough faith to decide Worth the Waites was something that it is. MD, when you asked why Worth the Waites, and so I'll start with Worth the Waites. On paper, we're a marketing, design, experiences firm, right? But the reality of it is we're just an amplification and an enhancement group. So when the station decides that it is time to branch out and add places and add locations and add different copyrights, we're there to assist with that. When an amazing individual creates a film and you have a daughter and you say, okay, hey, I know some people in this scenario, we just saw that they did this, we have an in, as my daughter walks in as we speak, we're here for that. And so the weird part about it is, as Tre talked about his different lanes, it started as I spent years in radio I spent years in marketing. So that was the foundation, right? And my brother was the best graphic designer I knew. So I was like, my mom was like, go ahead and give Reese a job or something, man. And so my thought on it was, you know, I'm making these strides and I got this salary at this radio station. But then when this $250,000 deal comes in, I get zero. Same check from 2 weeks ago is what I get today. So to go back of kind of the real reason why I jumped in 2017 was after the Super Bowl. And so Houston had a hurricane and we had started all this prep for a commercial. And so I'm doing this commercial, and in advertising for sure, a Super Bowl commercial is the mecca. That is where you are. We have made it. You create a commercial. So we have been working on one, man, and I'm telling you, it was dope. So we were working on it around September. And so don't hear anything October, a little bit in November, big push again in December, and it goes blank. Halftime of the Super Bowl, first commercial that comes on. I see it. Concept, they switch one of the rappers out. I'm like, wife looks at me and is like, well, why are you mad? I was like, because they stole my commercial. And when I say stole, it was my concept, it was my idea, but these people got the credit for it. And as a matter of fact, as far as the Super Bowl ads go, in that year, it actually came in second. So then I was like, oh, this is, I'm not getting my worth. Hence, worth the weights. So he gets the bonus and says, wife gets the bonus and says, you don't have a bonus. We're going to put this into the company. And at that point, I start crying. I'm like, this is my teammate. This is the one. And I step out on faith, but I had a foundation and go. And then as soon as, just like you said, MD, as soon as I started saying that I having this, then it was like, now I'm up to 7 clients. And then I was like, oh, now I got to learn how to have a business, like a real business. And so the key part for me in being an entrepreneur is I have the ability to mold and shape not only lives of the people that receive the product, but the individuals who are the business owners who have great ideas like Tre that want to expand, who have great ideas like the main dish with MD, who want to say, hey, this can go to people and this is going to help. And so I have a vast network, I will admit that. I never have a problem. And I think one of the key elements for me is I don't care if I shoot out 10 ideas and 9 of them don't work. If that one works and changes something, then the goal has been achieved. And so many people that we deal with, and if there was a tidbit I would say is, you know, Nike made up just do it, but it's so much bigger than 3 words. Like just do it is, you've got this skill set. You have been blessed with this talent. Go ahead and use that. Now, I will say Jay Wiggs made a great point when we talked years ago. Keep your day job because you still got to pay for something at some point. But in your heart, you'll know when it's time to switch. You'll know when it's time that my talent needs to be amplified. And so for us, it was just like, keep doing it and show that you're worth the weights.
Mm-hmm. Ronnie, that's a great story, but you know, inquiring minds really want to know what the commercial was.
Oh, well, so let's put it like this. I'll put it to you like this.
He's gonna say it.
It's a soft drink. We'll say that. It's a soft drink commercial. It's a couple of years ago. There may be some Game of Thrones references. There may be a fast rapping rapper reference. That's all I'll say. But I will say.
Was that Mountain Dew?
Funny part, the funny part is,
was that Mountain Dew?
2 of my biggest clients right now are individuals that work with me on that project because they knew the depth of what. So Circle of Life, Lion King, shout out. It's all good.
That's awesome. Well, and you know what, Jay Wiggs, we kind of skipped over you with this amazing project, this documentary.
No, we didn't. We didn't skip him.
Tell him, Tre. You know what time it is.
We didn't skip him. It's about 9:20, and that's what we on.
Jay Wiggins, let's talk about Girl Dads. You've been featured on the news in Oklahoma. You've been nominated for 7 film festivals for the documentary. Tell us about the documentary and why you came up with that concept.
Okay, well, I'm currently working on a film called Pops, and Pops talks about the importance of Black fathers, you know, in today's social climate, and really the importance of Black fathers just being inside of the home. So I started that because I got hired to photograph a film festival, and I thought it was dope. I had a great time. It was 4 days where they were showing 16-hour days of films. The problem was I didn't see the average Black dude on the screen. I didn't see myself on the screen, you know? And so I said, well, I got to put myself on the screen, or somebody who I idolize on the screen. And so that's what happened. I started my film 6 days later, Pops. And so when I started Pops, and Pops features, you know, some really cool local guys from OKC, as well as some national celebrities who are in the film. When I interviewed my own Pops, we talked about the differences, how he raised me versus the way he raised my sister. You know, as a man, he was always like, okay, well, my son, he's gonna go down, he's gonna go out there, he's gonna fall down, he's gonna bump his head, you know, get up, don't cry, brush yourself off, and go attack the world again. With my sister, he was like, yo, I gotta protect you. There's wolves out there. I used to be a wolf. I'm trying to protect you from all that other stuff. And so I was like, yo, I want to do a film that really talks about the differences on how men raise their girls versus the way that they raise the boys. Because my sister is grown now, and she still holds a high level of resentment to my pops because she didn't agree with that. And so I wanted to tell a story for women like my sister who just didn't quite understand. So that's how GirlDads was born. And so I shot GirlDads on a green screen in my living room. I called 2 of my homeboys who I knew had girls. I said, yo, I gotta get you guys just to interview you, ask you a couple questions. And I asked one of them, I'm like, do you know anybody else? And so he recommended two more guys. I met them the day of shooting and just asked them just basic questions about, you know, how you take care of your girls, which in essence translates to how do we love Black women? You know what I'm saying? And so once that hit, and I created that film in March of 2019, and it was I got it done in a week. The opening sequence of the film is a slideshow, and it has just a bunch of Black dads with their beautiful chocolate girls, you know. And one of the people in there is Mr. Rodney Waites. I think he has like 3 photos in that thing, because I put a Facebook status up that said, hey, send me some pictures, you know, if you have a girl. So that film came about, you know, in a week. And the irony of it was, when I first created the film, I would tell people, hey, I have a film called GirlDads. And they were like, well, what's a girl dad? And I would have to explain to them exactly what a girl dad was and tell them the story. Unfortunately, 9 months later, Kobe Bryant passed away. And there's this iconic interview between him and a reporter, and they used the term girl dads. From that day, I never had to define exactly what girl dads was, because from that date, everybody knew. But for 9 months, I had to explain to them exactly what a girl dad was.
Wow. And so you were ahead of the game with that film. And I need to check it out. And Rodney has a beautiful, beautiful daughter who just made her appearance.
Always.
Tell her we said hello. Tell Jordan we said hello.
Absolutely.
Jay Wiggs, where can people check out this documentary?
Sure. Yeah.
So currently the film is making the film festival route. So it'll be done in about 2 or 3 months. It was just at the Charlotte Black Film Festival on Father's Day. They made GirlDads the feature film for that day, which was a dope thing. There's also going to be another screening in New York. The film has already been in New York back in October. I actually flew out there for that, which was dope. But as soon as the movie theaters open up, I'm going to have a screening here in Oklahoma City first, because that's important. I'm blessed that people are even buying the T-shirts without even seeing the movie yet. And that's just a testament of people just believing in the brand and believing in the whole concept of just Black men loving their Black girls at a young age, you know, and keep on loving them.
Jay Wiggins, where can people get GirlDads shirts?
Currently, the shirts are available via Cash App. You can do Concepts Productions, Concepts with an S, Productions with an S via Cash App. The shirts are $31 a piece, and the price does include the shipping. All you have to do is just put the size of shirt that you need, as well as your address in the in the Cash App comments, and you'll have your shirt within 7 to 10 days. But there will be a site within the next 2 weeks, so you'll be able to order it directly without having to use Cash App.
That's awesome. People, go out and get your Girl Dad shirts. You can see Rodney has one on now, supporting Jay Wiggins. We appreciate that. You guys,
and with the Girl Dad shirt, one thing that's extremely important that people need to know is that you do not have to be a girl dad to have the shirt. You don't have to be a girl dad. You don't have to be a dad or even a man to have the shirt, because this shirt promotes the film. It says a documentary film at the bottom. So all you have to do is just believe in Black content creators creating Black content for Black people, designed to be consumed by everybody. If you believe in Black content creators, then buy the shirt. More women have purchased the shirt than men.
Well, the funny thing is, I asked you about it maybe a week or two ago. I just don't have the Cash App, but that's an excuse. But I'm gonna have to get me one.
There's a hip hop song about that.
Yeah.
The Cash App.
Yeah, I'm not that hip hop. Where can people hire you for some photography? What do they need to go to? What's your website?
Conceptsproductions.net, N-E-T. Concepts with an S, productions with an S, N-E-T. And I shoot everything from headshots. I shoot family photos. I shoot NBA basketball, even though they're in a bubble and they're not allowing any media to shoot. But I used to shoot NBA basketball. Ironically, I shot every game this past season except the infamous Utah game, because we had dope poetry that night. And that is the night where they shut down the whole NBA because one of the players tested positive for COVID.
Tre, we talked about Seafood Station. Where can people find you in Houston? How do they hit you up if they have any questions or want to connect with you?
Man, my website is ilovethestation.com. You can Google Catfish Station. Like I said, man, I went down a path with some foreign investors for my original brand. But what I learned from that gave me the catalyst to kind of relaunch a different brand, but I still own that brand, but I'm interested in expanding that brand outside of Houston. But basically reach out to me, man. ilovethestation.com. All the information is there. My whole story is online. I've been doing this 10 years, man. I've been through the ups and downs, like, and just to be candid, man, like 4 months ago, I was getting ready to file Chapter 11 bankruptcy and restructure my whole business debt. Like, I was literally about to go out of business, just because of all some lawsuits that I was going through with some of my former franchisees, and man, things just started to turn around. Like, I know COVID is a bad thing. I know a lot of people lost their lives, but because where I was in the process of dealing with the SBA and doing all this stuff, once these things started happening and the SBA started opening up their books, I was first in line. I had all my paperwork ready, and it literally saved my business. And now I'm doing double the business I was doing pre-COVID. But what it made me realize was like, okay, let me give this opportunity or expand this business with people that are like me. I really, like, just to be candid, man, I took money from people that, it was that money. They didn't have the spirit or the soul of what I was trying to do in mind. So now that I've built my brand, I know what it means, and I know what I built on my own, and can put it up against the KFCs, the some of the other major brands. Man, I only want to work with us, and I'm gonna tell you, like, it's good money in it. It's good, man. Everything's back on top. Like, I just got a whole different outlook on how to conduct business. Period. And I want to do business with us, like vertical. Like, I'm positioning myself to be involved in every aspect of what my business has to buy. So if I start a franchise, everything that franchise buys is going to be supplied by either me or somebody that looks like me that can supply that product.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, hey,
absolutely.
Hey, Tre's down to share the information, guys. So reach out to him. He'd love to share his story. No need for you to go through the same troubles. Let him lend an ear as he speaks some knowledge to you. Worth the waits. I see you with the wardrobe change.
So I'm going to jump in really quick. So I'm going to tell you what's kind of cool about this. So Tre doesn't even know that I've actually been to his store, one of his 2 stores. I want to say it's been open, 3, 5 weeks, 7 weeks?
A month, barely 2 months.
Okay, so I've been there 7 times, right? And so, but I have sent about 25 people there. So when I say this and when we go on this entrepreneurial journey, you have your brand. Who you are is your brand. Like who you are. Mm-hmm. Jay Wiggins is everything that's on the wall is Jay Wiggins. That's his brand. All those trade things. MD is all these things.
Yeah.
And so when you're solid in your brand, people have faith in you. And when people have faith in you, they take your suggestions. And when Tre talked about interacting with people that understand what he goes through and understands the people that you're marketing to, I will let you guys know that the Black, African-American, multicultural, whatever words you want to use, dollar dominates trends in 85% of the business models that are going on. Whoever's out there listening to this, you have a skill set that people want to pay for. You have a skill set that brings you joy. We have a copywriter, and all he wants to do is talk to a person, get the information, and amplify and beautify the words and go out. So that we did internal communication for companies and external communication for companies to actually talk to individuals that look like us because they felt as though it was important and they trusted myself, my brother, the other people that work with us to get that out. And so I'm saying all that to say, if you have a gift, don't shortchange yourself. Jay Wiggins said at the beginning, my photos were trash. That's to him. We, who aren't experts, people are still talking about how dope the photos were, but he had a standard, and now he created a company. I'm sure Tre's first piece of catfish wasn't what it is now, but I don't like spicy food, right? But I tried 6 things on the station menu because I know that there's a standard that he has. And now I've changed my own mentality and forget my workouts, but I'm going and I'm enjoying it. But that's the thing, guys. So if there's anything I can lead with or say with, there's something in each and every one of us, and don't bury your talents, man. Expose it. I think the main dish is a prime example. MD has been talking to people for years and entertaining people for years. And I'm going to tell you what, there's going to come a point years down the line that these 3 other individuals are going to be like, man, I was one of the first ones on the main dish. And that's going to be something that we throw up on the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And don't undervalue yourself, man. That's the main, like my first business deal that I made, I didn't know I didn't know how dope I was.
Right.
Somebody had to tell me. Somebody had to show me my own numbers and put them next to KFC.
Right.
And when I saw that, I was like, why did I make that deal? Like, I got pillaged. But, because we're just taught to, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's almost like I felt like I had to ask permission to be successful.
Absolutely.
And that can take us down a whole different mental state for us. But man, now I'm ready to step out in this and say, hey man, here's my product. I will put it up against, I compete in the market.
Yep.
I'm a Black owned business, but I have a product that competes in a global market. And I'm trying to align myself with different people who can help me expand my product in all these different markets. So when I say something to you, Jay Wig, I mean, if you got people that's in the restaurant game, I have proof of concept, I have scalability. I'm in major distribution centers where you can literally have access to everything that I do in Oklahoma and don't have to miss a beat. And once the brand gets built up, now when you see I don't know if they have Whataburgers in Oklahoma, but when I see
Stoney's or whatever, they got
I'm Texas. When I see the Orange W, I know what I'm finna get.
Yeah.
That's all I want to be is like, hey man, you don't even have to question it. just when you pull up, this is what it is. And now I know how to have that kind of control over the quality of the product. And that creates a vertical revenue stream that everybody can participate in. I don't make hats, I don't make t-shirts, but if you do, I got a brand that has to buy your hats and your t-shirts. So let's figure out how we can make that work, right? Anybody who wants this brand has to buy this. They have to do this. But I don't manufacture that stuff. So let me align myself with people that look like me and say, hey man, nah, this way you're gonna get your hats from. This way you're gonna get your menus from. This way you're gonna get your flour, your everything. Man, look, through my mistakes, I've learned the whole game. And I'm probably gonna make some more mistakes, but they're not gonna be as big as I was making mistakes before. So let's go, man. I'm ready. I'm really ready.
Well, I want to, before we get to a couple of fun questions, I want to touch on I want to give you guys a homework assignment. And anybody that watches this, I want to give you a homework assignment. If you know somebody is amazing in what they do, if you see the talent in somebody, tell them. Tell them within the next 24 hours. 1 or 2 people go out and say, hey man, Jay Wiggins, you're awesome with photography, man. You do a great job. You were meant for that. Because you know what? All of us have touched on this, and we touched on it on our first episode. Positive reinforcement goes a long way. Sometimes you need to hear it. No matter I don't care, Rodney Waites, the most outgoing person in the world. MD's outgoing. Tre, you out there. Jay Wiggins, you out there. But that one little, hey man, you're awesome. You're like, you know what? I am. And so tell your people that. Invest in them and tell them that. That's your homework assignment. So let's get to the fun questions. Let's get to some of the main dishy dish questions. Rodney Waites, give me your top 3 French fries. Top 3 French fries.
Well, before my fitness journey, I had a small addiction to McDonald's. And when I say small, I would average 10 combo meals a week. 10, Tre.
I didn't tell you what the combo meal was.
So that's my intro. Okay, let me do my intro. Okay.
That's not healthy at all.
So ironically, my fries, number 1 to me, no offense, is still McDonald's. I could eat them on repeat, what is. And I wrote these down, so I'm not changing them up. So just so you know. When I used to live downtown in Edo, also for anything you need to go, www.worththewaites.com. Waites is W-A-I-T-E-S. All social media the same. Hell, we even got a Cash App. But ironically, Tre, this is what you don't know. Sparkle's Hamburgers was second. It's Edo downtown. Sparkle is strong. Okay. Gluttony at its finest.
Okay.
But I have the station.
Did we make it?
My third one. So I promise you that is the case.
Okay.
It's
Rodney, let me say this. This is gonna be some free game because I'm gonna start consulting too. So what I did was when I had my franchising company, I was like, okay, so we're buying this many French fries. Now there's certain manufacturers of French fries that are above others. But when you move volume, I went to them. I said, hey man, we buying this many cases a week as a group. Cut me this deal. I want $2 off every case that we buy. And look, truth be told, there's 4 people in the United States that make potato French fries.
Oh, wow.
They're gonna put whatever sticker they want on them. If you want a Whataburger French fry, it's gonna be a Whataburger French fry. So as a Texas food manufacturer, I got a mean red beans and rice. I got a mean dirty rice. I got the batter that you taste on that fish. You can buy it from Cisco or any major distributor in the country. It's yours once it leaves my house. You can call it Waites Seasoning. I'm good with that. Build your own brand because people are buying the M. They buying the W. They buying man, the game is real. I love it. Ain't nobody growing potatoes new. They just put a different label on it. Let's go, man.
Hey, McDonald's French fries are grown in McDonald's, Wisconsin, by Ronald McDonald. Don't tell
With
me
red
no
hair.
different. Don't tell me no different. Whataburger French fries are grown somewhere in Texas.
And
Corpus Christi.
Whatever.
They will fly you in and let you peep their facilities too. It's like, hey, this is what we can do for you. I'm like, oh, okay, let me re-up and get back to where I was. So that's what I'm on. I'm like, man, this is, and if we all do like the flash that we're seeing now, I hope it's more of a steady, consistent thing that we're doing. We can control our own economy. And I'm not saying just support because I'm Black. I'm saying I'm going to give you the best product I can. And this is what it is. So let's go. Let's do it.
Well, give me, since all the French fries come from the same place.
Give me all.
Same place. They're going to cut them different. That's it.
Where do you like to go? How do you, whose fries, how do you like your fries cut? And to what temperature do you like them cooked?
Top 3 cuts.
I think Waites said it best. He recognized the fact that I take pride in the French fry I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
So when you spend a little extra money to get a quality fry that has that coating on it and them little chunks on it that have that seasoning in it, you pay for that. You pay for that. But again, I'm competing in a market that calls for that. If I got to go against McDonald's, I got to pull out that fry.
There you go. There you go.
McDonald's made me do it.
Jay Wiggins, top 3 fries, brother.
Top 3 fries are McDonald's because you can eat those without any ketchup. It doesn't require ketchup. It's a sprinkle of salt. In fact, you know what I'm saying? Just a sprinkle, not too much, because Black people, we can't handle all that salt. We don't need to handle all that salt.
Get that hot blood.
Okay. The number 2 is Wingstop with the fairy god dust sprinkled on top like that. In fact, I'm such a Wingstop zombie. I always order an extra joint just in case.
You have that on the ready? Stop.
And keep it at the crib just in case they're a little stingy. Just in case they're a little stingy, I'm like, you know what? I got my own joint. Be at the house on the fries.
My wifey knows to order extra ranch every time we go.
Okay.
And so since Wingstop is one of my corporate clients, I did not know that they make the ranch in-house. Had no idea.
And they cut those fries in-house too. They cut the potatoes in-house. They don't need it. They buy the potatoes. So
yeah,
shout out to Wingstop.
I watched them.
I got you.
I watched them do it.
They're
Cut the potato. Cut the potato.
Yeah, that's that vertical implementation I'm talking about.
That's that coming to America. Baby, he got his own money. He got his own money. So I get this, all right? And then number 3, it's a condition. It's Whataburger fries, but it got to be the spicy ketchup, though. You got to do the spicy ketchup joint.
All right.
Without that, Whataburger fries is like, I'd rather go with Burger King if we're going to do that.
Okay. Well, we're gonna leave those fries at that. Let's go to, what's your favorite old school ice cream truck driving through the neighborhood?
The green icy. The green, the
Pringles first.
Rip the top off. I'm taking over. The big long green stick with the flavor ice. That's it. That's what I'm talking about.
Sure. Right.
You excited about it? I see you.
I got some downstairs right now.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm off that.
No, it's good, brother. Jay Wig, what you got? What you getting from the ice cream truck? What's your flavor?
I'm going with the old school Neapolitan ice cream sandwich.
Oh, wow.
You bite the strawberry side first and work your way to the best part, which is the chocolate end, and that's how we rocking.
Okay. All right then. Rodney Waites, worth the weights. We coming to you last with your Soul Cycle shirt on.
I would say breaking news, but there's big things coming with this shirt. But whatevs. Before I was even a long one, I love the orange creamsicle push-up Fred Flintstone was one brand. Tre, I don't know if there was only 4 creamsicle brands.
Bro, when you change shirts, I'm looking at your shirt like, when you change?
It's my big finish, Tre. Let me go there. But yes, the orange pickle one, and that was before any kind of UT stuff, man. That one still, even when they come around now, I ask, like, do y'all have that? You know, so is Fred still on the little
the push-up pop, the push pop?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
That was one of my favorites too. Gentlemen, it has been a pleasure talking with you guys today. You guys dropped a whole bunch of knowledge on everybody. You guys that are watching, go out and support Worth the Waites. He's done Super Bowl commercials. He's done a few more commercials that we didn't talk about today, but you can find out about him on his website. Tre Thomas, go out and support. Seafood Station, GirlDads, get your shirts. Concepts Productions. Check them out for some photography, or check them out on Wednesdays with dope poetry.
Trey.
Hey, there's kids watching.
I just want to change brands like Waites did. I want to promote.
Yeah, because that shirt would probably look better on the floor that you have on. Probably look better in the washing machine.
Guys, I appreciate you coming out. Thank you again. Continued success and love.